Hello everybody, I'm Reload and I'm playing EVO Online. One of my very first videos for EVO Online was actually about low-sec ratting and how did it fit with the Executioner frigate in order to take down the Battleship rats. Now that EVO Online is free to play with the Alpha Clones, I wanted to see if Alpha Clones can do exact same thing with the exact same fit. That's why I created a brand new Amarr character and trained up some of the skills available for the Alpha Clones, although this clone is not maxed out yet. So let's take a look at the ship itself. Once again, I'm going to be using the Executioner frigate, and that's why I have created the Amarr character, because the Alpha Clones are locked in what kind of race they can fly. So let's take a look at the fit itself. I actually had to make a modification compared to the video that I made 3 years ago in a way that I could not fit the two energy rigs on this ship, because if I did, then the power grid would just not allow me. I was off by 0.3 of the units. Just out of range, just slightly out of range. So instead, I fitted these two small auxiliary thrusters and one small energy collision accelerator. This is what's going to increase the damage of your energy weapons for the Executioner. As for the energy weapons, what I have are the three small focused modal pulse lasers equipped with the multi-frequency crystal. In case you don't know, the crystals do not run out. This is one type of ammo that just doesn't run out. The Tech 1 crystals, of course. Tech 2 crystals do have a bit of wear and tear on them, eventually they run out. In any case, let's move on to the medium slots, and what I have here is one of the afterburner called the 1MNY-S8 compact afterburner, one fleeting compact stasis webifier, and one initiated compact warp scrambler. Now this fit is really a PvP fit. Of course, this really doesn't make any difference when you're ratting in low sec, but you kind of want to be prepared for a fight, because low sec is a free-for-all, so anybody and everybody will try to attack you once they see you in belt. If you're a brand new Alpha Clone character, it's best if you avoid a fight, but of course sometimes the fight is unavoidable and at least you can have a little bit of a teeth to fight back. And as for the low slots, what we have is the small accommodation investment reconstructor, that's the armor repairer, and two extruded compact heat sinks. Now these are the things that will once again increase the damage of your turrets. So currently, my damage sits at 102.1 DPS, my defense is at about 1600 EHP, most of it is in the armor, and I can repair at about 1 HP per second, I believe. Actually, let me take a look. No, the armor repair, never mind, there we go, it's actually 17.3 HPs per second for the armor repair. The 1 HP per second that you saw over there, that is the shield recharge rate. Oop, not the boost rate, just the passive shield recharge rate. As for the targeting, I can target from 28 kilometers away, and I can fly at 560.9 meters per second. Of course, that will increase the moment I punch my afterburner. Let's take a look at what's the maximum speed right now. And here we go, it's more than 1200 meters per second. That's pretty fast, especially for a frigate, and that's what's going to keep you alive. Basically, we're going to be speed tanking all of the battleships, because the battleship's guns are too big to actually follow us and track us. Okay, so now that we talked about the fit, let's move on to the character itself. Here is my Amarr character. Currently I'm training capacitor management to level 4 I believe? Yes. That's going to take me about 5 days. As you know, the Alpha Clones train at twice as slow speed compared to the Omega Clones. In any case, I didn't do too much. This is not a maxed out clone, but what I did train up, of course, is the Amarr frigate to level 4 and Spaceship Command to level 3. For the navigation, I tried to max out as much as I could. I didn't bother about the high-speed maneuvering, and the wardrobe operation didn't bother maxing those out. As for engineering, I got my CPU management maxed out. I'm training my capacitor management because as an Amarr character, you really rely on your capacitor, because lasers eat up a lot of energy. My power grid management is already at level 4, so really I cannot boost it any further at this point in time. At least I can't think of another way. Maybe there's a different skill here that I can train up. That's why I could not get that additional rig fitted. As for the rest, so for the armor, once again, repair system at level 4, hull upgrades to level 4 and mechanics to level 4, that will help me stay alive for a little bit longer and help me tank the rats in the belt a little bit better. And that's pretty much it as far as I can think of things. I don't remember training anything else for this character. So for the gunnery, you do have to train up these skills as much as you can. The more you train them up, the better results you will get. Particularly, I suggest that you train gunnery to level 5 all the way up, so maybe that's going to be the next skill I train. Currently I have it at level 4 though, and motion prediction is at level 3, sharpshooter level 3, surgical strike level 3, Small energy turret, max this out as much as you can, which I did. This is at level 4. Rapid firing is also good. Control burst, that's useful for you to reduce your capacitor usage. Currently I have it at level 3, and of course if I do stick with this character I will bump it up to level 4. So far I think these are the optimal skills that I have, and at this point I can start trying to go into low sec. You can try using not the same kind of layout of the skills, maybe not to the same level, maybe a little bit few levels here and there. I think you should be okay, but let's take a look. Let's actually go into low sec and see what happens there. So once again, I am replicating everything from my very first video that happened about 3 years ago. I'm starting in the same system, going to the same low sec regions. And I should mention that this ship cost me less than 1 million ISK if you do not count the rigs. The cost of the hull itself is very expensive. That cost me about 300,000 ISK, and the rigs are very expensive actually. Both of the thruster rigs, each of them cost me about the same amount as the ship itself. And I believe the energy rig cost me about 100,000 or so. Of course, the prices heavily depend on the market conditions. So if you're trying it and you see a different price, that's the way the market goes in EVE Online. So here we are in the first system of low sec. I can see that there's 8 people in local. I don't want to stick around here. Personally, I do not like to fly around low sec where there's a lot of people. The less people there is, the better, of course. The best is when you can't find anybody else. So guys, currently I'm in the 3rd low sec system along the corridor that I have traveled, and right now I am the only one in the system, which is perfect. One of the person just warped away right now. So because I'm alone, I can start going belt to belt. So let me just cancel the warp right here, and let's check out what's in these belts right here. One of your main defense systems in low sec will be your directional scanner. Always keep this available. I didn't have it to begin with, just because I wanted to make a point. But regardless, here it is, and always scan it. Scan it as much as you can. It's best if you filter this, and I'll make a video later on about how to filter it properly, at least the way that I prefer it filtered. Because I haven't actually set this character up the way I like it to. Just realized. So nothing in the first belt, let's go to the next one. But really all you want to see here are the hostile ships and some scanner probes. So I see 2 people came back. Maybe I will not be riding it here. I will actually probably try to find a quieter low sec system. Alright guys, so finally I found another low sec system. I don't know how many systems I actually went through in this pathway, but I'm the only one here. I'm alone. And I do realize that my overview settings are not set up as well, so I will make a video about that later on how to set up the overview and everything else. And we do have something interesting here. What do we have here? Is this a blood bishop? I do believe that's the tough one. That's a very tough one. Well, let's go ahead. You know what? It's going to be trial. Right there, trial. So you want to group your weapons into one. And you want to orbit it at a very, very tight orbit. So let's set up 500. So let's see if the bishop actually gets us or not. That's going to be a very interesting experiment right here. And that'll give me an idea whether I will be able to handle a battleship. So far, can't do anything. Being bounced off this crazy big asteroid. So let's go ahead and let's start firing. Let's stay in a very close orbit. So the bounty here is about 175, which is not even a quarter of the cost of the fit, but that's alright. You can still get enough of these kills to actually finance your ship. What we want to go after are the battleships themselves. Yeah, as you can see, this battlecruiser just cannot keep up with us. Even though I'm bouncing away from the asteroid and I'm changing my direction and stopping here and there, it just cannot track us well enough. Which means that this is very good news for us to be able to fight against the battleships. In any case, while we're killing this battlecruiser, I do realize that my overview is not properly set up. I'll make a video about that later on, but actually this presents you with a very good idea of even though if you just joined EVO Online and you trained up some of these skills, I believe maybe it'll take you about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe less actually, I don't remember how long it took me to train these. But you don't have to really know everything about the game in order to go into low sec and have fun and get some good ISK from the bounties. There's no reason for you to really stay in high sec and be afraid of low sec. Yes, you will likely lose your ship. You will likely lose a lot of your ships, but that's alright, because in the end you should come out on top. You should have more in ISK. And right there we got about the cost of the ship actually in just loot itself. We don't have to worry about metal. This thing don't cost too much. Yeah, maybe even don't worry about this one. This is what you want to get, the most expensive part right there. So let's just transfer it. Perfect. And off to the next belt we go. So far, nobody else in the system. That's perfect for us. Alright, so here we go, guys. Actually, this is a very interesting asteroid belt. What we've got here... okay, before we even start explaining, let me go ahead. But what we have got here are, first and foremost, we got the NPC mining fleet, which is neutral to us. That's great. We do have the Blood Raiders, which are the NPCs we're trying to kill, and there definitely is a battleship, which I'm targeting right now. The Blood Oracle with 800,000 ISK in bounty. What we also have are the Seekers, so the Drifters. So, I mean, I think as long as I don't attack them, they should be neutral to me. They shouldn't attack me. So I'm gonna be trying to be really careful here. But regardless, here we are. We are attacking the ship, the Blood Raider battleship. And yes, it's taking damage. Of course, the shield on the Blood Raiders is very easy to penetrate, especially with the Amarr fit right here. But let's see what else happens. We also have a few more Blood Raiders on site here. We got one cruiser and two cruisers, never mind, two cruisers. I'm not really worried about getting rid of them because they don't provide enough bounty, but they do kind of hurt. So that's why you really have to orbit. You really have to keep your transversal speed up and try to get this battleship. This could be a long fight, by the way, mind you, this could be a long fight. You may be better off to actually be attacking the battlecruisers because you'll be able to slice them really fast, as you can see in my previous kill of the rat. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see the battleship being killed by an Alpha Clone frigate. So here we go, guys. Actually hands off at this point. There's nobody in low sec, just me, and nobody else is bothering me. So I think I might just speed this up and see where this takes us. Okay guys, so now we got to the armor, and this is the problem right here. The battleships, they do repair. So I can see him repairing the armor right there, and that's a big problem. What could be the case is the fact that this battleship's bounty is a little bit too high, and I am being neutered. I'm definitely being neutered. So at this point, I do believe I will be warping out. I definitely will be warping out right now, because once my energy runs out, there's no way I'll be able to fight the battleship. So maybe I will have to go after the cruisers to begin with. We'll see how I'll handle that asteroid belt. But battleships do come with multiple bounties. The one with 800,000 may be a little bit too much for the Alpha Clone to handle. Alright, so I came back into the asteroid belt and I targeted the two cruisers instead, so they do not try to nuke me. That is, they will not try to take the capacitor energy away from my ship. The fight was a little bit tough, especially in the second one, because it did start to neutralize my capacitor. But thankfully I managed to kill them both and escape without much problems. I did go into armor, but because I had my armor repairer with me, it wasn't a big problem, and I did run out of the capacitor a few times, so I couldn't actually fire and I had to disable my afterburner. That's why my tank went down and they were able to penetrate my shields and start chipping away at my armor. But that's all gone now, so we're back at trying to chip away at the Blood Oracle. I know that I was able to get to the shields no problem, so let's take a look if I could actually get through the armor. And here we go, guys, here we go, look at that. Oh, it's gonna be a beautiful explosion. Let me do this. Let's take a look, manually looking at my ship here. We're gonna chip away through the armor and get cool 800,000 million. Too many zeros, just 800,000 ISK. Close to 1 million. Right there, once I killed this ship, I pretty much paid for my executioner. And here we go, guys. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty. Look at that beautiful explosion. And the battleship is gone. Let's take a look at the loot. If you're interested, you could go back to these cruisers. Actually, we will go back just for the sake of interest to see if there's anything interesting in those wrecks. But let's see what kind of loot is in the battleship wreck. Wow. Wow, the amount of loot actually exceeds the amount of the bounty. I don't know if I can fit it all. That's that's the other problem you may experience once you start killing a lot of battleships in this game. But of course we're gonna go for the highest paying things. We're not gonna worry about the scrap metal here. Okay, yep, take this one. Perfect. What else is here? Nothing interesting, you know what? Up to you if you really want to grab it. So far I already have about 1 million ISK right here in my cargo hold. So I doubled the price that I spent on my ship right there with the first 2 kills that I made. Well, let's say 4 kills because I did kill those 2 cruisers, which, you know, don't really add much. But here we go, guys. And of course, just out of curiosity, for science, let's take a look at what's in the cruiser wrecks. Probably not much. But now and then you could be surprised. Of course, if you see somebody pop in on grid here, or pop in local, warp away. Do not worry about picking up your loot. You need to survive. As an Alpha Clone, I don't want to say that you will not have a chance to kill anybody, but it's very, very tough, especially if you get bluffed, if you get more than one ship dropping in on you. So what we got here, there's another about 173,000. Grab the most expensive part right there. Oop, almost nothing left. And let's take a look in the very last wreck. Now this was a battleship with 800,000 ISK bounty. There are battleships with higher bounties. Oh, there's nothing here, I see. Just nothing interesting, really. Really. Yeah. Ooh, what's this? What do we have here? Impel. This thing's probably carrying a lot of goodies, but do not attack. Whatever you do, do not attack these these guys. So yes, that's what we have here. What was I saying? I was saying something. Yes. When you see a bigger bounty rats in the belt, be very careful, especially if you see a cruiser with a very high bounty. Do not attack them, just try to warp away, because some of them will warp scramble you. Others will have a tank that you will not be able to get through for sure. I don't remember the exact names of each single cruiser, but it's some sort of specialist that you will see. You can try going against a battleship with a 1 million ISK bounty, and if I find one, and record it within the next half an hour or so, I will put it up here as a bit of a fast-forwarded way, fast-forwarded footage to show what happens, but it might be very tough. So, but right now, looking at the 800,000, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It takes a bit of time, but there you go. You get awesome loot, you get awesome bounty, and you paid for your ship. So Alpha Clones, brand new players to EVE Online, do not be afraid of low sec, train up some of those skills that I showed. Even if you don't have all the skills, still go ahead and try it. Try using the executioner. Give this video a thumbs up, comment on this video please if you want me to make a video for Alpha Clones of different races, like Kaldari, Galenti, Minmatar, to try to find a frigate that works as well as the executioner. Probably some frigates will work even better. I just personally prefer the ship. I mean, it looks awesome, it fits lasers. Lasers are not the best weapon in this game, but I personally prefer it because it uses crystals which don't run out. So when I'm on a deep low-sec expeditions, staying there for a while, I don't have to worry about resupplying my ship with ammo. But yes, even if you do not have enough skills, please go ahead and try it, because like I showed you, you can easily slice through all of the battle cruisers. Even if you have lower skills, I'm pretty sure you should be okay. So everybody, thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and do comment on it if you want me to make any other type of an Alpha Clone or EVE Online related video. And please subscribe to my channel for more EVE Online and other gameplay content. I'm Reload, and I'll see you in the next video.